Hey everybody, Sean here, and I hope you're doing well. Alph Lukau is a popular pastor in South Africa, and that's who we'll look at today. And a special thanks to Daniel and Mick for the recommendation. If you're not familiar with Alph, he's a pastor of a large church in Sandton, South Africa called Alleluia Ministries. Sandton is a city just outside of Johannesburg where I once lived for 6 months of my life, although I lived in an area called Clinton. This church would appear to have all the characteristics of most megachurches we see, and also puts a focus on the Benny Hinn style signs and wonders. You can even click on their ministries tab and it'll take you to a page where you can become a king. How do you do that? By giving them money. And notice to the right, we have the usual NAR-associated online prophetic healing deliverance offered. Don't get me wrong, I believe in healing and deliverance, but just not the way we see it in most of these NAR movements doing it, especially when most of them have a cost. Now, if we scroll down, it gives us the different tiers to be a financial king with their church. And not only do you get the joy of giving, but you get special time with Alph as well. I will say no more. And if we go to his YouTube channel, we'll see that he has over 1 million followers, so he's no small fry in the world of mega churches. He did a recent video at the end of 2020 talking about the hardship we all went through, and...
But amidst all this, God has kept you. God has spared your life. If you're still here, it's because of His great grace in your life. So it is time to give Him a big thanks.
And apparently God takes PayPal, and you can send that thankful offering to Alph. He goes on to spout the usual prosperity junk of planting a seed to prosper in 2021. So, apart from the usual word of faith and prosperity teachings, why are people suggesting that we look closer at Alph Lukau? He's become quite famous lately for his dead-raising stunt that was covered on many channels.
Hey, this man died since Friday. Hey. My God, my God, my God.
Yes, yes.
What is his name?
Jesus.
Elliot. Hello, Elliot. Elliot. Elliot.
Jesus.
Lift your hands. Lift your hands.
My good God.
Barabasa tabasa.
Sure.
Zete.
Man of is commanding life.
Rise up!
Yes.
Come on! Come on!
Hey! Rising up! Hey! Jesus! Jesus!
So he was already breathing, yet Alph gets the credit from actually raising him from the dead. And since when does a body that's being prepared for a funeral have its mouth gaping open? Usually it's sewn shut. And there's no shortage of people that are angry about this. Claims of him being sued by the funeral home. Other pastors are protesting this nonsense as well. And why wouldn't they? Who makes such a big public demonstration other than to draw attention to themselves? Even pages like this expose his former scams.
Anyway, so the man has actually been popular for a long time, like in 2016 when he was charging up to 5,000 rands to pray for women to get a husband within 90 days. At that time, he said that he would just anoint their ring finger and then Mr. Right would show up.
And then add some common sense to the latest show.
Anyway, he became popular again last month when he allegedly raised a dead body, a Zimbabwean man by the name Elliot. His family claimed that they were taking his body to Zimbabwe for burial. Let me say his supposed family.
Something is happening outside!
Hey!
There is a family that is about to take a corpse to Zimbabwe. As the funeral parlor drove over the church door, the next door neighbor that came with him said, it seems like the fingers of this dead corpse is beginning to move.
From the beginning, you know that this was a drama. How did the neighbor see the finger of the corpse moving? Just because they passed in front of the church. I thought the coffin was covered. No, so. And then you could see the guy clearly breathing while he was still in the vehicle.
She makes some good points. And maybe the most preposterous thing is that after he's raised from the dead, he's pretty much an invalid and needs help walking and eating.
He kept shaking and staring at nothing. What kind of miracle is this? This is so weird. He didn't even hug his family members or his wife or anything. He just asked for water and food.
And I'll leave that full clip below because this lady does a great job of showing this for the nonsense that it is. Truth is, there's a lot of clips that you can find on YouTube that expose him for his shenanigans and different scams he's had over the years, and yet people still follow him. And we'll finish off with this video that tracked down the workplace of the so-called dead-raised man, and they found out that he lied about his name being Elliot and that it was actually Brighton. They do some interviews with his workers here, and they also discovered that apparently he was trying to recruit others for this stunt, and he'd done this in the past with a so-called healing and getting out of a wheelchair. I'll leave that link below as well. But what to say? It's really a shame that we have more false teachers than true leaders of Christ these days. Keep your chins up, my friends, because the return of Christ is soon. So as always, leave your thoughts and comments below, and until next time, take care, and God bless.